Good afternoon, or welcome to the Inspiring Inkin Facebook page. I'm Amanda Fowler. Today is Thursday, the 5th of August, and this is mini catalogue launch, autumn winter 2021, part 3 of 3. It's a lot to remember. Thank you so much if you are joining me today, either live or if you join me on the replay. Thank you very much. If you are watching a replay, you might not see the comments depending on where you're watching it. So I will be kind of reading out the comments and chatting as we go along. So if you're here, let me know. I have some new products to show you, 3 cards to make. So we're going to have some fun on what is here in Hampshire a rainy Thursday afternoon, and it's chilly. So let me know who's here. I'm upstairs without my iPad today because I hit the live button and then I realised my iPad wasn't where it's supposed to be. So I'm going to be looking over here to the right hand side to my computer to read the comments. But that's fine. We're just going to do this slightly differently this week. So let's have a look. So I do have comments. No, I can see the comments. I just have to look this way. So let's see. Chris is here. Roz, Jen, Karen, Angela, Stella. Texas is in the house and Claire's here as well. Lots of people saying hello to everybody. And that is the best bit about these lives. You. Those of you that hang out with me live and hang out with me on the replay, I am truly grateful for you popping in and saying hello and hanging out with our crafting family, because pretty much that's what we are. We are a creative family who love to hang out together. So that's really cool. So apparently it's wet in Newbury as well. So that's very cool. Now I've got a cup of tea. And for those of you that know me very well, this is actual English breakfast tea, which is really rare that you will ever see me drinking real tea. But today I needed a cup of tea. I'm a coffee girl through and through, but I'm not supposed to have quite as much caffeine as I would like with all my coffee, so I tend to drink peppermint tea, but occasionally a cup of actual tea with sugar in it. No, I don't take sugar in coffee. Let's have a look. Who else is here? Tessa's here, Scylla's here, Anne's here. The boss is in the house. Hello, Liz. How are you? I did get a message from you a couple of minutes ago, actually. That's really, really cool that you just popped up. I will reply when I finished on my live. Let's see. Okay, that's good. Yeah, everyone's here. So, okay, so what have you been doing since yesterday? Whole 24 hours, or what have you been doing? I've been watching the Olympics and then watching more Olympics. Skateboarding, diving, cycling, heptathlon. That was really sad. Yeah, I've been watching that. Yesterday afternoon, I had my reflexology appointment. I've talked about this before, but if ever you get the opportunity to go to a reflexologist, and Claire Barnes, Reflexology Barn in Whiteley, is the person I go to, and she's amazing. It's just such a relaxing treatment, rebalances you and works really well. So yeah, reflexology is really cool. And then this morning I've been out for coffee with a friend. So I've been loafing, really. I'm not working in the last 24 hours. And chatting with you is not work either. So, you know, I'm just having a chilled out day, really. Anne is ironing. Liz thinks it's funny that I've called her the boss. Well, you are the boss. You're what's your official title? The Business Development Manager of the UK for Stampin' Up. So you are the boss, really. Anne's ironing. Anne, why? Ironing. No, don't do ironing. Don't do ironing. One of the many reasons that I married my husband was the fact that he does his own ironing. I don't know that I've shared this story with you, but very early on in our relationship, I was helping Brian. He was going into work. And for those of you that don't know, my husband is a veteran. He served with the Royal Navy for 27 years. And he was going into work and was running late. So I said, you know, can I help? And he said, yeah, can you iron that shirt? I did such a bad job that he's never asked me to iron anything again. So yeah, marrying a sailor is a good plan if you don't like ironing. So he does his own. The kids did their own ironing from very small, and I purposely buy things that don't need ironing. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, not an ironing fan. So Anne, you are amazing to do ironing. Hi, Laura. Ross is saying the Olympics have been good. Anita's here. Hello. Ooh, Chris has monthly reflexology and monthly massage. That's awesome. You know, I think it's really important that we take care of ourselves. So that's really good. But and I've found very much that the reflexology does help balance me. As you know, I'm kind of on the go all the time, and it is just an opportunity just to wind down and calm down a bit. Oh no, Lynn. Lynn's got a water leak on an inlet pipe. Mains water leak. Oh no. So she's ironing while waiting for the insurance to send the plumber. Does that mean you've got no water, Lynn? Are you able to make a cup of tea? Because that would be a disaster. Anne says she only irons what she has to, so that's good. I was about to say I'm going to move the computer so I don't have to look sideways. But the reality is we know what happens when Amanda moves the computer, don't we? What happens? It all goes horribly wrong and the tea ends up in the computer. Good afternoon, Jan. Mel's saying she's had her carpal tunnel done, and so she's drastically cut down on the ironing. Yeah, get the kids to iron, get hubby to iron. That's the plan. Chris's dad was a soldier and he taught her to iron. So her husband benefited because she was better at ironing than he was. Yeah. That's so cool. Yeah. Ironing. Can't be doing with it. My mother-in-law loves to iron though. She irons tea towels and unmentionables. She irons everything. Absolutely everything. Just crazy. Good evening, Donna. How's life in Oz? Are you guys locked down again? We get intermittent news from around the world. Obviously everything right now is Olympics. So we don't get as much news. But are you guys getting locked down again? Or are you okay? I hope you're not. I hope you're not. Right, so tea, and then on to some new stuff. Now, I've got an embossing folder die combo to show you today that is one of the matching pieces to go with the Christmas retreat. So many of you have joined in. I am thrilled, absolutely thrilled, and I keep talking about this because it's my first retreat, and it's a Christmas retreat, so that's like two amazing things in one. And so many of you are joining in, which is wonderful. So if If you haven't heard about the retreat, I'll make sure to put a link here on my Facebook page later on. But I'm running it in October, 8th of October. If you're in the UK, you can join with a bundle of products that includes 2 stamp sets and ribbon and sequins and a mountain of cardstock and papers and embellishments and die cuts and punched pieces and all manner of things. And you can join with the kit. But if you're one of my international friends, you can join and get the videos, the live elements on Zoom and the PDFs, so you can join in as well. So whether you're UK based or anywhere else in the world, you can join in. So if you can't find the information, it's on my blog, which is www.inspiringinkin.com. I'll put it here on my page as well, and you can kind of click on the links, read the information and book. So there are still some places, but I will be closing registrations shortly. It's open still at the moment, so there are a few places left, so that's good. So in where's it gone? Honestly, I've got stuff everywhere again today. So in the retreat, one of the stamp sets that you are receiving is this one. It's called Merriest Moments. And it is really beautiful. It's got such lovely sentiments in it, but then really cool images, poinsettias, holly leaves and branches. But these poinsettias can be flowers as well. So I'm going to be showing you different ways that you can use this, but I love this set. And there's a die and an embossing folder to go with it. So I'm going to show you that to begin with. And then we are going to be looking at Whimsy and Wonder. That's what we're going to be looking at. So let's have a look. I've got to try and find in the catalogue where this bundle is. Right, page 43. So if you've got your catalogue, page 43 is where we need to go first. So I'm going to turn the camera around. Let's find a piece of paper to cover you over, and then I will show you what I'm going to show you. That makes no sense, but hold on. And yet again, my camera's in a weird place. Look, this is the edge of the table. You don't normally get to see the edge of the table. Right, I don't know what's going on. No, that's worse. Oh dear, honestly, I'm not very good at working out which way round we should be going. Let's see. Right, let's move the tea out of the danger zone. Move the table. Move the laptop. Hooray. Okay, so can you see everything? Ah, that's probably what was wrong. Hang on. There we go. That's why it wasn't quite straight. There we go. Okay, right, let me bring my tea back. I need my tea. Okay, so let's have a look. Good afternoon, Janet. She's saying hello to everybody. Donna's had her first AstraZeneca jab today. Hooray! New South Wales, Victoria, Queensland are all in lockdown. But they're okay because they're about 500 kilometres south of Sydney. Yeah. Oh, bless. And Jenny's in the house from Melbourne. So thank you so much. Okay, so let's talk about this. So this is the stamp set that you're getting in the retreat. But there is a bundle, and the bundle is a set of dies and an embossing folder. And it's called a hybrid embossing folder. And when I first got this and they said how we were going to use it, it was like, no, really, no. Because this is the embossing folder, and I'll show you what it looks like embossed in a minute. But these two pieces can be used at the same time as you are embossing. Hang on, let me put this the right way up. Ooh. That way. There we go. So you can run it through like that. You can't see my face, but that sounds so scary. A die in an embossing folder. Surely it's going to ruin my embossing folder. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. So it's very cool. Let me show you what it does. So you can use the embossing folder just as an embossing folder. And this is what it does. So you've got this lovely frame in the center and then all this foliage all the way around the outside. You can run it through with this die cutting piece like this. And you run it through so it cuts the outer and does the embossing all in one go. You can also do the same with this one. Now, what this one does, let me kind of show you, is it die cuts and embosses all at once. And it does detailed die cutting. Now, that's how it's designed to be used, but I didn't use it like that. And, you know, there's a surprise. Amanda's not doing it the way it's supposed to be done. So what I found was when I did that, it just took a bit of time to poke everything out. And I don't like doing all the poking out because it just takes a while and, you know, I just don't enjoy it. So what I did was I ran this through on its own first. And then I put that die cut piece into the embossing folder. So if you imagine, that's the die cut piece. So then I put the die cut piece into the embossing folder, made sure it was all lined up. And then I got this. Look at that. That is so super cool. It's beautiful. I mean, this is lovely. And I love the fact that, you know, you can do this. But when you look at that, it's just stunning. So that's the embossing folder with those two pieces. And you think, well, that'd be cool on its own, wouldn't it? But then you've got all these other die cut pieces. Look at this. It's a mountain. So you've got, let's see. So you've got the 3 holly leaves, so you can stamp those and cut those out. You've got this branch, which you can die cut. You've got the 2 poinsettias here, which you can die cut. You've then got the berries up there, that branch there, and those leaves. And then you've got this one, and this one, and this one, which die cut little inners for your poinsettias. Super, super cool. Sorry, and there's that little die there is to cut those little diddly dots there. So it is amazing. Now, if you join the retreat, you don't need, you'll get this in your kit. You don't need this to do the retreat. Because any die cut pieces that we need, I will cut for you. So you don't need this, but I think you might want it. So there is a difference, isn't there, between wanting it and needing it. But I just love this. Oh, there's another piece. Where did that other piece go? There you go. I forgot that bit. So that is a stitched edge frame, which, anybody would think Stampin' Up! Had thought about that. Cuts a perfect layer for that. And obviously that then fits the sentiments. Okay. So this is one of those stamp sets where the images on the front are at 90%. So, I mean, you can see that that's going to fit in there. But it's just so beautiful. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Everybody put it on your list. Okay. So I'm going to tidy that away. Otherwise known as I'm going to put it on the floor. And then we are going to look at the Whimsy and Wonder set. Now, you know I am not a pink girl. I am a blue girl. You can have any colour you want so long as it's blue. So I was really surprised that this bundle really caught my eye because there is a lot of pink in it. But there is some blue, and the blue is Misty Moonlight, which is one of my favourites. So I want to kind of show you the awesomeness that is this suite, and I'm going to make 3 cards with it. But let's start out with the stamp set. Now the stamp set is red rubber. Very cool. These baubles are just amazing because you can just stamp them. You can do a vintage style with those. You can colour them in. You could stamp them onto patterned paper as well. That'd look really cool. You've got 3 trees and some dots for the trees. So I love that. And then there are dies to go with it. Now the dies, all sorts of dies. So we've got dies to cut out the stamped images. I'm just going to cover those over first. And the baubles, so you can 3D your baubles as well, which is really cool. So you've got those ones that cut that out. You've then got all sorts of fancy bits. So Let me show you those. I'll die cut those. But lots and lots and lots of comments. Hang on. So Lynn's saying that die and embossing folder is very clever. No, Anne said that. Lynn said she didn't even see it in the catalogue. Donna's going, how cool is that? Scylla's saying she's so pleased. It's on her wish list. Oh no! So Chris ordered the bundle and the embossing folder on her next order. So Chris, you will be able to return it, do an exchange order. So you just email our support team and request an exchange, and they should be able to exchange it. Ross says she needs it. Yes, you do. It is very clever, Tessa. Very clever. Okay, so we've then got a tree. Hang on, I'm going to empty this out because there's stuff everywhere. We've got some little ziggy-zags. So that's that die and that die. So these zigzags, one's, let me just move these dies out of the way. So one's for this little tree and one's for this tree, or even this die cut tree here. So this zigzag is probably for tinsel. So I have a very serious question for you now. Tinsel or no tinsel on your Christmas tree? And I'm going to wait and see what you all say, and then I am going to share with you what I think about tinsel. So there you go. Then you've got this. Now this is really cool. So this is this die cut. And what you can do with this is if you die cut several, you can layer the pieces in between, and you can put it on top of patterned paper or foil. It's, yeah, super cool. And then these are cartoon Christmas trees in my world. And I love them. And then, I don't know that you're going to be able to see these, but I'll put them on my hand and show you. So you've got teeny tiny baubles and stars. And so the baubles you cut 8 at once, and the stars you cut 5. So that's really cool, and you'll see all of those in use in a little while. So the dies are very cool. Let's just scoot them all up. There we go. So that's the dies. There is some ribbon in this product suite, and it's called Frayed Grosgrain Ribbon. It's in Blushing Bride, and it is exactly what it says on the tin. The edges are frayed and they're kind of fluffy, and you've got 2 ways of using it. So this way, there's quite a lot of depth in between the fluffy bits and the main part of the ribbon, or this way, which I'm guessing is the back, which is shallower. But when we do Amanda's test of is this ribbon any good for bows, the fact that Amanda can't tie a bow today, it's not relevant. Let's try that again, shall we? Oh, yes. Look at that. That's very cute. And nice fluffy bow that kind of holds its own, which is what we need a bow to do. And then there are snowflakes. Ooh, it's stuck. Now these are called Wonderful Snowflakes, and it's really difficult to explain what they're like. So on the back, they are like a paper, and they're laser cut, so they're, you know, beautifully die cut. But on the right side, it's kind of shiny. It's not iridescent. Well, it's tricky to say. It's kind of iridescent, but I'm not entirely sure it is. That's not being very positive with what I'm thinking, is it? But it's shiny and a bit shimmery, but it's not. For me, iridescent is like mother of pearl. It's not that reflective in different colours. It's kind of more one colour. Obviously, snowflakes are white, aren't they? But you might want snowflakes in a different colour. So you can colour them in. So I am just going to do this. Now you could do it on either side. The plain white side, if you colour that in, you can use any kind of marker, whether it's an alcohol marker, or as I'm using here, sorry, an alcohol marker like I'm using here, or a water-based marker, because the other side, I'll just show you in a second, the other side is sort of paper and it will absorb it. Whereas this side, because it's shiny, you need something that is more permanent. So if I just show you here, look, that will just take any kind of colour. So let's see. I don't know whether I've actually coloured that in fully, but we'll see. And then to get them out, you just pull them on each snowflake edge, I guess. So there you go. So you can, and you'll be able to see the sparkliness a bit more actually. Let me see if I've got some white card. There you go. So you can see, and as it dries, you're going to get a more sort of ombre type effect. But it does mean that you can have any colour of snowflake you like. So let's see. Let's have a look. So we've got yes tinsel, no tinsel, no tinsel, tinsel, no tinsel but use wide ribbon, that's cool. No tinsel, no tree, no question. Okay. A little bit down the middle to throw the light brightens the middle, says Anne. Hello, Margaret. Thank you for joining us. Hello, Mary. Pearlescent. Yeah, kind of, Laura. I don't know what it says, what it calls it in the catalogue. It says iridescent foil snowflakes. And maybe it's just my understanding of iridescent. It depends how you catch it in the light. But it's just not, for me, it's just not mother of pearl, the kind of pinks and greens that I personally expect when somebody says that. So, you know, they are pretty. They are very pretty and very delicate. So, as far as the tinsel's concerned, I am absolutely no tinsel on my tree, ever. Yeah, I don't like tinsel at all. And I love, on my Christmas tree, we have white lights and we have clear and white baubles. And there's a little bit of silver kind of creeping in. But yeah, really, really understated, but no tinsel. Much to my kids, when they were smalls, upset. They were not happy that there was no tinsel on our Christmas tree. So they used, I used to buy them tinsel, and they used to decorate their rooms with tinsel. So not that they never had tinsel, but not my favourite. But you see, I love sparkly things, which is kind of strange. So let's show you the patterned paper. We've got this one. So this has got the iridescent sparkle, and actually when you see this on these papers, you'll see this has got more pinks and greens in the iridescent. So you've got baubles and trees, and so this is to me, this is kind of more mother of pearl iridescence. It really reflects the colours and spots, holly leaves and presents. Again, they've got this iridescence. See it reflecting. Mint macaron. Look at these trees. And the dies will cut out some of these trees as well. Holly leaves with iridescence on. And some pink, and then some pink snowflakes, again iridescent snowflakes, and stripes. So that's all of the products in that product suite. So we better get on with some crafting. Top tip, Debbie. So Debbie's saying use a little star punch to go around the edges of these snowflakes, so that you get, or any kind of little punch actually, so you get the shininess. So that is super cool. Okay, so let's start out with some stamping. So I've got Misty Moonlight, Mint Macaron and Polished Pink. Da, da, da. Just move those out of the way. So I've got a landscape card base. Now, it's something that I keep meaning to talk about and I keep forgetting, so I remembered today. If you are doing a landscape based card, instead of having your fold here at the top, cut your A4 cardstock in half long ways and make your card this way. So you've got the fold is on the short side. It will stand up so much better than having it with the fold on that side. I'm just going to reinforce that fold so it'll sit tidily. So I've got a matte and a layer, so that's Mint Macaron and that's a Misty Moonlight, and I have a million stamps. Not quite, but quite a few of them. And my trusty A Wink of Stella pen that we were using yesterday. I'm going to say last week. Wasn't last week, was it? It was yesterday. This is the last. I'm obviously getting a bit. This is part 3 happy. So we're just getting to the point of yay. This is the last one. The last one. Okay. I'm going to start out with the Mint Macaron and this lovely zigzag tree. Oh, where's my layer? Now I'd pop that down there like so. Ooh! We're just going to use the emergency side. Every piece of cardstock has an emergency side. Okay, flip it over. Let's try and stamp that again and see if that works. Yeah, that's so much better. Okay, so then I'm going to use these spots to make baubles, which is very cool, and that goes over the top. That makes a super cool Christmas tree really, really quickly. Now I'm actually going to stamp the other two trees, but I want them to kind of look as though they're kind of layered one on top of the other. So I have pre-done some post-it note masks. Now I get asked this a lot. These are super sticky post-it notes, and they're post-it notes that they are sticky over the whole thing. Now I bought mine on Amazon. I know there are lots of different stationers out there, so try different places, but this is fab because it means it's sticky all over. So I am just going to pop that down, and then we are going to stamp this tree, this Christmas tree, in pink. Kimberly had her own Christmas tree, which was pink. It was very cool. Made of tinsel, so it stayed in her room. But yeah, she had a pink Christmas tree for a long time. So that's that one. And you can see, look, that makes it look as though it's behind. And then I've got that stamp there. And then I'm going to put this one down here and a little bit over the top. And it's going to look as though the Misty Moonlight one is tucked behind that one. So we've got a sentiment here. This says, may the love of the season warm your home and fill your heart. And we're going to pop that down there. And then I'm just going to use my Wink of Stella really quickly to put a little bit of sparkle over these dots. And what I'll do is I'll do half of this tree and then I'll lift it up to show you. So you'll be able to see. So let me see if I can tilt it. Who knows whether or not the light's going to pick that up. But it is just sparkly. Tiny bit. It's not full on bling. It's just a little bit of sparkle. And it actually, you would think it takes ages, but it really doesn't. And you will see on these scribbly trees, there are dots on all of them. So you can just dot there. And then on the pink tree, there are like gaps. So like little white spots. So there we go. And then I am just going to layer this. Just simple card, simple layers. Let's just do the inside. And for me, this is the sort of card that you want for a Christmas card because it's quite straightforward. You can make multiples quite easily, with or without your additional bling. It's up to you. Very pretty. Now the colours, as I said, it's polished pink, mint macaron and misty moonlight, and those colours are all in the patterned paper. So one of the questions that I get asked a lot is, how do I come up with my colour combinations? How do I know which colours work with which colours? And I would always say start out with colours in a single colour family, because they're designed to work together. That's how the colours are picked to be in a colour family. So you can pick 3 or 4 colours in a colour family and they are designed to work together. But then if you're struggling with new colour combinations, look in the catalogue at the patterned papers and find one of them that you like the look of and see what colour combinations are in there and try that. So there we go. So there is card number 1. 3 little Christmas trees. There's a bit of masking there just to give it a little bit of 3D, but it's flat for the post. So there we go. So thank you for the lovely comments about that card. It's a bit wonky. I'm not going to try. Oh, no, I'm not going to try. It's yeah, it's stuck fast. It's a little bit wonky. Straight's overrated, people. Oops. Hopefully nobody will notice. I didn't mention it. Did I mention it? No, I didn't mention it, did I? Right. Okay. Let's move on to card number 2. So this actually is a variation of this card from yesterday, which you loved. And yesterday what I did with this was I inked up a block, spritzed it and put it down onto some shimmering white card. Well, today my variation of a theme, just get all my bits out, is to use the same technique but to give 3 colours onto the block. Now, for some reason, I do not know why, I do not have a Misty Moonlight marker. In fact, I don't have any of the 2020-2022 in colour markers. I have no idea how that happened, but I have rectified it and placed an order that includes them. But normally what I would do is I would do this technique with just markers, but I'm going to have to use my ink pad because, like I said, I don't have a marker. So what I'm doing is using the block, using the marker, it's a water-based marker and the broad tip. And I am putting down Misty Moonlight on about 1/4 of the block. Then the polished pink on about 1/2 of the block. So there's actually more pink than there will be green or blue. And then, obviously, if I had the Misty Moonlight marker, I would do that. But I haven't, so I've got to put my ink pad on. Now, if you've only got ink pads, you can do this, not in, you know, in order to colour your block. But what I would say is always make sure that you go from lightest to darkest, as otherwise you'll end up with the wrong colour ink on your ink pad. So I'm going to spritz this a couple of times and it's going to run really quick, so I'm going to go and plonk it down. And the more water you put on it, the more the colours are going to run and they will soak in. And what you will end up with is always a surprise. So this is just soaking in right now, but obviously I have true Blue Peter style. I have one that I made earlier. In fact, I don't have one, I have 3, because I wanted to show you what can happen. So with this one, I used exactly the same colours, but it was pretty much even pink, mint, polished pink and misty moonlight, but the green basically ran and pushed the pink into the blue, and that's what we ended up with. Then on this one, again, it was pretty much even mint, pink and blue, and you know, that's really cool. I love that kind of effect, but for me the blue was kind of too dark compared to the others, so this is the one I'm actually using, which kind of evens out. It's cool, isn't it? Such a cool technique. Just make sure when you're using the colours that you're not going to use anything that is going to go muddy. So reds and greens particularly will make mud colour. And I was just going to have a play with this snowflake. Oh, don't know. I think I like the white one better. Oh, I don't know. No, I think I might go with the blue. Maybe I'll go with 2 snowflakes. That might be a bit excessive. Yeah. Oh, I think I'm going to go with the blue. Okay, so what did I need? I needed a stamp. So I'm going to put Merry Christmas. That's not going to fit. We're going to put 'Tis the Season instead. So I'm going to put mint on that one. So let's just check that. Yeah. Love it. So we used this stamp set yesterday. It's called Christmas to Remember. If you're needing a Christmas sentiment set, this is really nice. And let's get that all layered up. I'm going to use glue dots. I'm actually just going to use 2 glue dots, so I'm only sticking that down in the center, and then I'm just going to curl up the snowflakes a little, the I don't know, snowflake arms. What are they? The snowflake bits. Does anyone know? Technical term for snowflake arms? I make names up. So I've got all 3 colours on this card. This is another way that you can make a card really pop. Multiple mats and layers. And having a slightly deeper border around the edge. So let's just show you that one. Obviously you could use the white snowflake as it is. So that's card number 2. Let me just bring in this one that this one's pretty much finished to now. There you go. So that works. What I might do is just, if this happens to you, can you see that the ink hasn't quite run here? I didn't put quite as much water on it. What I might do is just get a little paintbrush with some water or water painter and just soften that down a little bit. But it gives you such a lovely effect. And you can make sunsets and things with it. But there you go. So that's card number 2. And then I decided for my last card that I would go kind of pinks and purples, which, no I didn't. I thought I did. I was going to go pinks and purples. Ugh. You see, who would be in my creative brain? I decide something and then when I start to make it, I go, no, that doesn't work. And because for these 2 cards, I've used these colours, when I made the purple version, it didn't go with these 2. So I had to remake it in a different colour version. So I'm using pinks and blues. So although it's not the same pink, it tones. So what have I got here? I've got Blushing Bright Card Blank and Misty Moonlight Layer. And I've used that Snowflake embossing folder from yesterday. The name of it is Wintry 3D. And these are the 2 that come in the set. So this one is obviously Pine Boughs and Snowflakes. And then I've die cut a label, and that's from Tasteful Label Dies. I've been using this a lot, particularly in Craft Along. It's brilliant because you can use it the way I'm using it as just like a little background, or you can use it as labels or layers or for sentiments, all sorts of things. I've got my little pot of die cuts. Remember I did that yesterday? And then I've got a little tree. So this is a Blushing Bride. No, let's try that again. Blushing Bride. And I've embossed it with a Pine Boughs embossing folder, just to give it a bit of texture. And then, let me show you. In here, I've used the Bedazzling paper, which is the free celebration paper, to make the tinsel. I've cut 2 of the little cartoon style trees that I said about before, but I've actually cut those in white cardstock. And then I've cut baubles and stars. And what I did was I took the Bedazzling paper and my alcohol marker, my Misty Moonlight marker, and I just coloured it in. Now, do leave it to dry for a little bit, as otherwise, as you probably saw on my dies earlier, they've got Misty Moonlight marker on them. But once it dries, you've still got all the sparkle, but actually in whatever colour you want. So this bit is dry here, and if I rub my finger over it, look, it's not coming off. So just make sure it's dry. And if I bring those up to the camera, see if the camera can actually focus on my hand. But you can see they're blue little baubles. They are very cool. So let's do a little bit of assembly. So this is my die cut card, really, because die cut and embossed card, because that's pretty much is all that is on here. But what was I going to do? I was going to stamp that sentiment, the 'tis the season sentiment, in Misty Moonlight, so that can go on the bottom. I'll just do that first. So whenever you are making a card, I always recommend that you do your stamping first, and then you close up your ink pads and put your ink pads away. Clean your stamps and put those away as well, because what will happen if you don't do that is you will stick your finger in something inky, and I can guarantee that when you stick it in something inky, you'll ruin your card. It has happened to me more times than I can count. So let's just snip this. I just love this sentiment so much because it's a reverse stamp. So, you know, you can stamp it on any colour of cardstock and that colour will shine through. And it's a nice generic sentiment as well. So that's good. So let's get the glue. And pin this down. So this time what I've done with my layer is I've kept the length the same for the two layers, but I've gone 1/4 of an inch wider on the Misty Moonlight layer. So it's just giving me a little bit of colour either side. And although I love my layers that are all even all the way around, I think sometimes just changing it up, give yourself a little bit of different borders and different sizes, and it just makes things a little bit more interesting. So now I'm going to put this layer on. Had a few questions. I can't remember which day it was that I was using these black dimensionals. So let me just show you. They're in the annual catalogue. Let me say adhesives 187. So they're in the annual catalogue, and it's called the Black Stampin' Dimensionals Combo Pack. So you get 2 sheets of each. So you get 2 sheets of the big size and 2 sheets of the minis in the combo pack. So and then these ones, so the normal dimensionals, you've got the small ones and the big ones, but the black ones you get some of both. And I just tend to use them when I'm using dark card, because then it kind of hides in the shadow. That makes sense. So this lovely tinsel is going to go on here. I need a bit of card. I think I'm going to need somebody to remind me to bring a silicone mat upstairs. because I always forget until I'm actually live and then I can't go. So I'm just putting a little bit of Tombow on the back of this, and then just going to kind of pin it down. And what I'm trying to do is just kind of ease it down. I'm trying not to stretch it, just kind of letting it fall where it wants to fall. And I don't mind if it's not glued tightly down all the way across. It's fine, because tinsel kind of moves and bumps around, so that's okay. Ugh, glue everywhere. Right. So then get my glue dots. So then I'm going to roll up some glue dots, and this will take a moment to put on some baubles. I'm not going to put millions on, but put a few on. So by rolling up the glue dots, what happens is it gives it a bit of a 3D effect, and also makes them small enough to hide underneath the baubles. So I don't think, I'm going to have to go for 7. It needs an odd number. I was thinking that 5 would be enough, but I don't think it is. I need 2 nearer the bottom. Ooh. One there. One more. So my little tree is going to go on here. And then I've got these 2 little ones. And buried, I have got some stars. I'm going to put a little star at the top of each tree. Ooh. Or maybe not. Not. That did not look right. Okay, nearly done. I'm just going to rub my hands. So if you get Tombow on your fingers, rub your hands together and the friction will ball up the glue and lift it off your fingers. Or obviously wash your hands, but I can't do that in the middle of a live. So there we go. Right, so I'm going to pop that down, then the tree is down, and then this card is done as well. And that sadly will be the end of this little mini series. So I will continue to be live here at 2 o'clock on a Tuesday. So you guys can hang out with me every Tuesday. I will be here. I'm missing my big dimensionals now. Yeah, I'm here every Tuesday at 2 o'clock. And I post regularly over on my blog, which is www.inspiringinkin.com, if you want some more creative inspiration there. I've got loads, hundreds of videos on my YouTube channel, and that's Inspiring Inkin as well. So you can go and look there. And of course you can search all of these videos on Facebook and on YouTube as well. So let's just, I'm sliding it out of shot, hoping it doesn't actually fall on the floor. So let's just put that tree down. Smooth these. And this, and this. Oh. Oh, thank you for all your love. There's lots of love for these cards today. I am going to bring all three of them in a moment. Let's just tuck that in behind. So that goes there like so. So that's the finished card. So we've got sparkle all over. But quite a lot of dimension with the layers and the embossing and so on. And then obviously you've got the other two cards. Move that slightly out of shot. The other two cards, so you've got the watercolor effect with the coloured in snowflake and some stamping with a little bit of masking as well. So that is the end of my 3-part mini series. I will have lots more creative inspiration using lots of these new goodies, and of course lots of goodies that we already have in our stash, because we like to use all of the things that we have. I'm so grateful for you hanging out with me today and every day that you hang out with me. And whether you're watching live or on the replay, I'm truly grateful that you choose to spend time with me. Lots of lovely comments. Thank you so much for taking time this week to hang out with us. Oh, I'm so pleased that you've enjoyed it. So have a wonderful rest of your week. I will be back here on Tuesday. I don't think I'll be doing Christmas. We'll be doing something else for a little while. So yes, we will see. We will see what we'll be doing next week. So as always, if you've got any requests, so if you've got any products that you're not sure about how to use, or a technique that you've seen that you'd like me to share and show you how to do something, or a fancy fold that you'd like to learn, then send me an email, amanda@inspiringinkin.com, and I will put it on the list. I love to share with you things that you really want to see. So do email me and let me know. So lovely. And Anne's saying she's had a lovely afternoon and she's done all her ironing. That is just very cool. That's very cool. I'm very proud of you, Anne. And I know where I'm going to send my ironing to. Okay, so take care of yourselves, everybody. I will see you all next week. Thank you so much for joining me. Goodbye.